Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. Welcome to a freshly squeezed video on a Sunday. And yeah, we've got a really interesting one to go over, and that is Banquet Event results information. So you can check out the spreadsheet, the link is in the description. I've been working on this for several hours, but before going anywhere, I want to give a massive shout out to everybody that came out and gave us information on the community tab. We got hundreds, we got 111 people that gave data and information. We've got as well hundreds of people in the Discord that gave us information. We've got a Banquet Event results tab, which was really helpful, fantastic, great. Twitter as well, we got some people, and just as I was about to kind of like, I've actually re-recorded this video because there's some information from this. Shout out to Static, who came through with a little bit of information on position 93, because I was looking for information of people that kind of broke into the top 100, and I didn't get any, sadly, except for I got some stuff close, like shout out to Max R, long-time supporter of the channel, who gave some information very early on as to that stuff. But what I can do is, and what I want to do for this video is check out this. So as I said, link is in the description for this one. Something I need to point out is that, number one, the data of the results is fact. Like, that's the information you provided. It is based on positions and other things like that. It doesn't have like every single one. Hundreds and hundreds of bits of data. The unit estimates are more like approximations. So I should really kind of make that more kind of clear and say that these are. And by the time this goes out, I'll probably even put that now. It's approximate. It's approximations on that one. The same thing with the dollar monetary value assigned to it is, again, it's approximates. Trying to kind of get that kind of information would mean that this video would take weeks, and the results came out on Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday. So it's like, look, I can't delay this weeks to just kind of get all this stuff exact. So yeah, the main thing that we need to know is the results, and that's the main thing. Next year will be a case of like, I don't know what Kabam will do. Will Kabam change the way that they kind of like do the event and kind of like the points? Because the one biggest issue is this 4,000 points versus 2,800 points and how that's kind of represented, which I did find a bit of an issue this year, because trying to predict something of like changing like elements of, okay, well, this year it's going to be 4,000, next year it's going to be 2,800. That was difficult. My alliance predictions were better than my solo predictions, and this is just the problem. We just don't know the state of the game with people's interest. So that's why we had this particular instance. So right at the top right here, and by the way, the arrows denote ranks, or kind of the changing ranks, or important key areas to kind of point out, and we will point them out in this video. So let's talk about money side of things and spend. So one thing I wanted to find out was quite interesting was between the extent of spent, and again to point out, this is approximations. It's not exact. It's like an estimate. It's approximations, approximately. Yeah, okay. That was the amount of units there for position 93, 257,100 units. Estimate for position 93 in results. 116 position, 176,100. Again, another kind of approximation with those unit values. But again, what I did to work that out was kind of go like, okay, well, let's go with the points. The points is a good start point. So you do like, I don't know, because I didn't get an exact, it was just 2.4 mil. It's just like saying 2.4 mil divided by 2,800 gives you 857 with a remainder. So we just round that and just go 857 times what was it? Is it times 300? I think I'm doing it the back way, but you know what I mean. Like, it's kind of like that's giving you an idea of the way that it's done. You kind of like break it down by the GBCs, the points divided by down by GBCs, times by blah 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 blah, and then divided by whatever. Like, it gets to that particular point without kind of going too much into it. But yeah, in a kind of a comparison to last year, to get position 1, 2, 3, it's close enough to 116 right there. it was like $7,200 to get to that position 1, 2, 3. So there's a lot of money to get to that particular position. And of course, right at the very top here, last year, a player put up 12 mil. I think this was Magus? Is it Magus? Magnus? Something like that. 900,000 units, and of course that's a lot of money that was spent in order to kind of get that particular position. And of course, any at the top, again, similar thing. So between those particular sweet points, sweet spots, it's hard to know without getting like so much bits of information about the top 100. And as I said, like because the video's been done now, I'm not going to revisit this. I might update the spreadsheet, but yeah, I didn't get as much information of the top 100 as I would have liked to. But you know, we do what we can do, and we're trying to predict as well for next year. So next year I'll revert back to this, and we'll try and predict for you know, where we think that it's logical to go. In any case, I'm rabbiting on. Let's get to some other points here. So going right down to the very bottom here where the arrows are, look, 43,490. If you went up, and I think I was in this kind of sweet spot right here of kind of just going up from 26 to 50%, from 51 to 75%. And do bear in mind, we'll talk about Alliance in a minute. Again, same principle here, like 77,000. And then there's this sweet spot kind of jump up to 8,400. Hang on, 80. Let's get the circle in actually. There we go. That sweet spot there, where you go between, you know, one rank to another. It's so important, like how many more units you put in. And this is an interesting one. 133,790 points was about that just jump there between 11 to 25%, right the way up to 6 to 10%. Again, that's another sweet spot, where you're looking at about 14,400 units. Well, if you put in 3,600 more, or give or take that, it puts you in another sweet spot where you go from 6 to 10% to that 4 to 5% kind of mark right there. So if you were willing to put in about 17,700 units, you would get a very nice 4% to 5% finishing point. And you can see there's so much of a tight gap there between, there's actually like 2k in it between 165,000 at the 6% to 10% finish point, and that's that 4% to 5%, 167,000. So it's a really fine, there's fine margins, and I think that's something that's hugely important for alliances. One thing that I need to be doing, and I'll probably put this out next week, is similar to what I did last year. How many units will you need for the year? So I've got to do that, and I've also got to change some stuff about the unit farming spreadsheet, but that's another story for another day. I put in a pinned comment because I read through some comments and also some messages that people sent about that one. So yeah, like that's the reason there's a pinned comment in that particular video about that. But look, we'll try and make things a bit realistic because, you know, people were asking for more of a realistic approach to it. So going up to 1% to 5%, this is where things get, again, it's spending money. This is why you're not going to see very little free to play in this particular area, or higher than that, because, you know, it becomes very whaley. 357,000, 1% to 5%, 38,250 units, estimate $1,200 spent. Again, approximations on that one. This is a pretty good sweet spot to be in, and I feel sorry for anybody doing 355k because you were really close to that 1% to 5% finish point from a solo. I'm gonna have to see like what the take home is this year, at the end of this year, if it's going to be any good. Because if you are getting at these higher positions some really spicy stuff, then look, players are going to go for it. They're going to be interested. Moving now quickly on to the alliance portion side of things. This is where things get interesting, to say the least. And this is the issue, isn't it? Kabam sort of messed up with putting out Necropolis before, slightly before and in and around Cyber Weekend and Banquet Event. People would have opted for what they wanted to do. For me, it was budget, right? I had to budget, and I'm still budgeting now to go, right, well, Kabam they're going to they're going to kill off the revive farming, because they kill off the revive farming, it means I've got to use my units on revives, and all play super well, but it's not going to happen. So I've got to use my units for Necropolis, but I don't have the time to farm all the units this month. So I saved a lot from December through to January, so I can use my 20,000 units that I have on farming in Necropolis, which is probably going to be about 3 paths worth, which could be about, if I hazard a guess, 12,000 units. I don't know. Like, and here's the thing, the revive farming could be nerfed, so it could be a case I need it for my last 4 runs, which I'm about to go into my 3rd right now. Like, I could need those units. I don't know. And that's the problem that put a lot of players, you know, especially free to play, in a position that they were unsure how many units they would commit to the event. Sorry, something's stuck in my throat. But in any case, it gives you a bit of an idea. And this is something that I want to leave you with a thought from an Alliance perspective when planning for the year in a moment. But look, it's interesting because a lot of Alliances would have had to have put in about there. Like, you know, just under 1.1 mil or 1.1 mil and 36,000 they would have had to have put in order to get the gifted Guardian 7-star crystal. That's something they had to do, or you didn't get 7-star. So look, that's the sweet spot right there, and that's why, of course, it was bumped to the way that was from an Alliance perspective, and everybody seemed to kind of get similar rewards. Although, of course, the more you put in, the more you get out from it. And this is the ending thought I want to leave you, and it's something that came up in our Alliance as well, and that is discussions, communication about where your Alliance and what your Alliance want to do. Talk in September, maybe even before. If there's free to play and spenders in your Alliance, right, it's important to kind of come together on an idea. Like, okay, in the next 2-3 months, we have got people on Alliance that want to commit to the Banquet event. It may be better this year because it depreciates. What's depreciation? Well, if Kabam put out meta rewards one year, the following year, it means that they're going to be more of them available, or they're going to be same amount but lesser value, like that, and it's more likely they shove in more. So like more Titan Crystal Shards, tier 6 class catalysts, more value, more kind of volume, rank 3 7-star materials, tier 4 alpha, those kind of things. So discussions need to be had. If the Alliance talks about something, they go, okay, look, in 4 months, we want to commit the extent of, I don't know, 20,000 units per player to the Banquet event. Oh, that doesn't align with me. I'm not going to be able to get that in time. That's fine, but that's what we're aiming to do. If it doesn't align with you, then you know, it may be best to kind of look for another Alliance. That seems harsh, but at the same time, look, that's where, you know, Alliances need to come together, decide what they want to achieve. This is why players move to Banquet specific Alliances during that time period. So at least gives people the time to go, look, if you can farm the amount of units, we're going to have a really good Banquet event as an Alliance. And this is the thing about, you know, coming together and making that strategic, thought on the matter. And again, that's the difference between going, okay, well, look, say this year there's rank 3 7-star materials, or there's 7-star materials at position 266. Fine, but the Alliance is going to do 4.9 mil. Oh, wait, something better is at 7.7 mil. That's, you know, at position 49. And again, we've got to think about this. Maybe it's best to think about it now. I don't know. But that's the thought I want to leave you on. I will be doing a video which is going to be about how many units you theoretically would need for the year to get X, Y, and Z. And it's a big year. As I said, depreciation year. So we'll have to see what's in some of these Act 8.4 finishing rewards, what's in Cyber Weekend, July 4th deals, Banquet event, lots of things to think about. And that's been a video. Thank you very much for everybody that submitted results. And I'll see you all very soon. Much love and goodbye for now.